Hi, my name is Christy, and this is Knitting by the Bay, my little corner of YouTube where I like to talk about fiber arts, mostly knitting, sometimes sewing, sometimes cross stitch, sometimes even books that I'm reading, whatever I'm getting up to at the moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a lot of things to share with you. I have one finished object, I have a bunch of works in progress, I have some acquisitions, mostly knitting books, and also some fabric and some yarn that I wanted to share. And I also have another finished project that is not knitting related, which I will save until the end of the episode if you're interested in that. So if that sounds like something you're into, please stick around and let's get started. So I'm filming again today in my bedroom, which I don't know if you can tell or if you can see at all that I did just recently paint it. This back wall is actually wallpaper, which I did not want to get into removing. So I just ended up painting the rest of the walls. And I went with this color, which is called lichen, and which I think is some type of moss or something. So it's a green, but it's a very gray green. And I thought it was really nice for a bedroom because I find, well, green is my favorite color, first of all, but I also find this kind of green very calming and soothing. So I thought that would be great for my bedroom. I have not done any painting in this house. We've only been here maybe for, I think, about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And when we moved in, the people that sold us the house had gone and painted everything white. So I was okay with just the white everywhere, but to be honest, they didn't do a very good job, and you can kind of see some of the paint color coming through in certain areas of the house. And I think the people who lived here before, well, the people that sold it to us, I think just did sort of like a flip, but they didn't do a lot of like renovations or anything. They just sort of did like aesthetic sort of like painting and stuff like that, and some other little details here and there, but they didn't really do a big like renovation or anything. But the people that they bought the house from before, I guess, had painted the entire house like from top to bottom in this really, really dark navy blue color. And I don't just mean the walls. They painted like doors, they painted the trim in this really, really dark navy blue. I don't know why they did that, like for the entire house, but you can see in some areas, like coming through the white paint, you can see a bit of the dark blue coming through. So anyway, I decided this weekend that I was gonna start with my bedroom, painting it, and I went with this color. So I'm really happy with this. That's what we got up to on the weekend that just passed. As far as knitting projects go, I have one finished object, and it's a small one. It's a pair of socks that I knit for my son. And I used Andrea Mowry's pattern, the DRK Everyday Socks, and I knit them in this beautiful variegated yarn from Knit Picks, and I'll put up the color on the screen because I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. These ones I've knit before. I've knit maybe 4 pairs of them, I think, and I really like this pattern a lot, but this time I made a mistake on them. It's a really, really silly mistake. I don't know how this happened, but I ended up knitting one of them smaller than the other. So I guess I did not do the same length of the sock. So the one is about an inch longer than the other one. And I think like I wrote down the measurements that I had done, and then when I was knitting the second sock, I didn't have the other one with me, and so I just kind of went by what I had written down, and I guess that was wrong. And so yeah, this one's a little bit shorter than the other one. Such a silly mistake. But anyway, my son doesn't care. Like, you could just scrunch him down and nobody will be able to tell that one is bigger than the other. So That's my my one and only finished object. This month I feel like is the month of not finishing projects. I have, for some reason, a lot of the projects that I've started lately, I have just changed my mind on them and put them aside and just cast on something new. And so I guess I'll share with you some of the ones that I have that are just hibernating right now, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with them. So the first one is my um, Esther jacket, and this one is by Petite Knit, and it has these diamond, this diamond pattern going throughout it. And I love this pattern. I really like the way that it's turning out. The only thing that I'm not too sure about is the color of this yarn. I really like the look of this color, but I'm not sure that this one really suits me. I don't think it's terrible, but it's just not motivating me to keep going on it. And also, I've seen a lot of people who have finished this one in different colors. There's a really beautiful like dusty blue color that I've seen, as well as I'm thinking of maybe the Sandnes Garn Peer Gynt in the color almond tweed. I've seen some projects in that yarn as well that I thought looked really nice. So I don't know. I might just keep this one on hold for a little bit. I might come back to it. I don't know. I really do like the pattern. I like the way that all of the samples have turned out. So yes, I might come back to this one. I haven't completely abandoned it. Another one that I have almost like made a lot of progress on is the Semper top V-neck. I'll put that up on the screen as well. And so I have a lot of it finished. I just need to put the sleeves back on and finish those and then do the V-neck part. But to be honest, I'm not loving this top. I think it's because I don't really like the fabric. I don't really like fingering weight yarns, to be honest. And this one is Knitting for Olive Merino, held with Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in the color Dusty Aqua. And separately, I liked both of those yarns, the way that they looked. But when combining the two yarns together, I didn't like the color. For some reason, I just felt like it looks really wishy-washy. And I don't like the stitches, like the way that the stitches look on this. I think that they look kind of sloppy. And when I tried it on, I don't like the feeling of this sort of, like, it's not the mohair, it's just that it's very flowy. And I don't really like the feeling of that on my skin. So I kind of put this one aside, and then I started to think about, like, I have 3 or 4 balls of the merino left, and I started to think, like, maybe I want to just use that and make something else. So I decided to cast on the Florencia by Claudia Quintinalla from Units. And yeah, I haven't got a lot of that finished yet, but I have, these are the, you start knitting the sleeves, like the bands around the sleeves. And I guess it's supposed to be until like your underarm type of thing. And then you're gonna, it's worked bottom up in the round. And then once you get up to the underarm, then you're gonna connect it with your sleeves here, and then finish up the yoke. So yeah, I have the two. I think they look pretty funny. That's what I've got done so far. And then I've cast on for the ribbing at the bottom, but just a very little bit. And I decided to do, like, she has you do a 1x1 rib. And I've seen some other projects where people have done a half twisted rib. So I did that instead for mine. And I really like the way that half twisted rib looks on there. And I find it not really that, like some people say it's annoying to do that. I don't find it annoying. Because you're only doing the knitting through the back loop, you're not purling through the back loop. So I didn't really find that a problem. And I really like the way that it looks. I think it looks very neat and tidy. Um, yeah, it gives a really nice, texture, I think. So that's what I have done with that. So, and I'm not using the mohair with this, it's just the merino. And I don't know, there's something like, I don't even know if you definitely can't see the difference, but I do find that just this one, I like the look of that on its own without the mohair. So I'm really happy with the way that that's going. But I've been working on something else a little bit more, so I only have a tiny bit of that one done. Another one of my unfinished objects was the Billy Pullover by Sari Nordland. I got a lot of that done. Probably, I think I was almost to the point where I would be splitting for sleeves. And I really liked the pattern, and I really liked the way that the cables looked. But it was so slow moving. It felt like I was knitting and knitting and knitting, and nothing, like it was growing so slow. And it was like the fabric felt very dense for some reason. I don't know if it was the needle size or what, but it looked like very small as well. But I was using the Cascades 220 Superwash, and I know that yarn grows a lot with blocking. So I wasn't really concerned about the sizing, but it just was taking forever, and I just was not into it. It was like all over cables, and then also with, I think it was moss stitch as well for some texture on the sides as well. So it was just constant, like having to pay attention to the pattern, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I decided to frog that one and start another friendship pullover, which is by Aimee Sher. And I've made this exact sweater before in a oatmeal color, and I'll put a picture of myself in that one. And I just really love this pattern. I love the way that the sweater fits. It's a different sort of construction. It's knit bottom up. So I think first you begin with the sleeves. No, you begin with the sweater. I guess it doesn't really matter what you want to do, but she has you begin with the sweater, you knit, bottom up until you reach the underarms, and then you put that aside, and then you knit both sleeves up until the underarms, and then you're going to join it all together and then continue on with the knitting the yoke. And she has you do compound raglan, which means like you're not knitting, it's not the same instructions it's different instructions for every size, and at every different point you're doing your raglan decreases. You might be doing them on both sides of the arms, or you might just be doing them on the sleeves only, or you might just be doing them on the body. So there's different instructions, so you have to follow along for those different spots. I think it's really fun because it keeps you interested. You have to pay attention, you have to count, but it is very, it's also very, like you just have a cable panel down the front and the rest of it is stockinette. So I like that because you don't have to really concentrate a lot. There's a lot of fun just stockinette stitch, but then there is some cables for interest and a different way of doing the raglan, which I thought was fun. So because I've already knit that sweater before, I wanted to make it a little bit different this time so they didn't look exactly the same. So I changed the cable panel on the front and just sort of came up with my own. And right now the sweater needs to be blocked. It's not finished yet, and it needs to be blocked. I'm at the point now that the whole sweater is done. I just need to block it, and then I'm going to pick up for the neck. And you also have to like seam the underarms. So it doesn't look great yet. It still needs to be blocked, but I decided to do my own cable panel, which I took some inspiration from my Kinsella sweater. So I used some of the cables from that and then put it together and made my own chart. And I really like the way that it turned out. I'm super happy with it. So now I sort of had to adjust as well because her cable panel in the center was 45 stitches, I think. And everything that I was coming up with was 46 stitches or something. So I had to like kind of just change around where the center of the pattern was, but that wasn't a big deal. Yeah, so I'm super happy. So yeah, this was the yarn that I used for my Billy pullover, which is a Cascades 220 Superwash, and it's in the color Colonial Blue Heather. I love this color so much. I'm a little upset though with myself because I only ordered, I think, 5 balls of yarn, and I don't have enough now to do the turtleneck. I'm going to be doing a turtleneck on it. And so I've had to order some more yarn, but it's really, really hard to find this yarn. I don't know, like if you're in Canada and you like to use Cascades, where do you buy your Cascades from? I have bought from a few places. There's a place close to me in Barrie called True North. I think it's called True North, and I've bought from them. I bought this one from them, but now they're all sold out of this color. So I had to order it from a place, I think it's called Biscotte or something, Biscotti. I think they're in Montreal. So I did order another ball and it's coming now, but like I have to pay shipping on that again, and it just ends up costing like, I think it's $30 that I'm paying for this one ball of yarn that's normally like $15. So that's a little upsetting, but I don't know what else to do because I can't really stop here. So yeah, and I'm hoping that the colorway is going to match up. Yeah, I hope it's not a big difference. We'll see. So some other things that I did this time was I knit the body longer. So she suggests for my size that you knit the body to 15, almost 16 inches. And I'm very tall. I am, like, I'm not super tall, but I'm 5'8". So I find, and I think I have like a pretty long torso. So I have to knit things a little bit longer. And this one is supposed to be more of a cropped boxy shape sweater. But yeah, I decided this time with this one, I was going to knit it longer. And I think I'm going to try and knit more of my sweaters longer. I don't think I really like the cropped boxy shape on me, even though I think, like, I look at a pattern and I think it looks really great on the model. I don't think it really suits my body type. And to be honest, like, I feel more comfortable in a longer sweater. So like something that's not going to come up when I'm, lifting my arms or whatever. So yeah, I'm going to start knitting things, I think, a little bit on the longer side. And I also knit the sleeves a bit longer. They are supposed to be like bracelet length, but I knit them a little bit longer. I had a little trouble trying to decide what I wanted to do because I do know that this yarn does grow a lot when you block it. So I'm thinking, do I knit it to the size that she says and then block it and it's going to grow and be, what I want it to be? Or I did hear of ways that you can block Cascades Superwash is just to lie it out on your blocking mat and then spray it with water, and like you pin it to the size that you want and spray it with water, and then that's how you block it. You can also, like, it says you can wash it in the machine, and then when you put it in the dryer, it'll shrink up to its original size. So yeah, I don't know. I think I just knit it a little bit bigger, and I think I'm going to wet block it and just stretch it out even more to the size that I want. I know a lot of people don't really like superwash wool, but I don't see what the problem is really with it. I find it very soft. It doesn't bother my skin at all. I really like the fact that you can wash it in the washing machine and put it in the dryer. Like, I love that. So I like superwash, and I just knit another sweater in Cascades that was a non-superwash. And to me, I don't really find a huge difference in the two yarns. I mean, I think that this one is actually softer. So yeah, I don't know. For me, I like superwash. It doesn't bother me. But I know a lot of people don't. But anyway, so that is my friendship pullover. Another one that I'm working on. This was my birthday knit that I cast on in March for my birthday. So I cast it on at the end of March. And I've decided that I'm only going to work on this one on the weekends. And I'm just going to like knit away at it here and there. And I have no deadline or anything. I just want to knit it for fun. And I don't want to have any pressure of having to get this one done. So you're not going to see, if you watch my last episode, it's not really, hasn't really grown that much since that last episode, but I am making some progress. So this is my flower cardigan, and it's by Sandnes Garn. And I used the Knit Picks palette in the colors white and opal heather. I love the opal heather. It's really pretty, like green with purple in it too. It's a very like iridescent sort of look. I noticed also that I did make a mistake on the color work on this side in this flower. I don't know why I did that stitch there. Yeah, and it doesn't go all the way around. Yeah, it's actually only goes for those few flowers there. I don't know why I did that, but I'm not going to unpick it all. I think it's fine. Like once you're walking around wearing it, I don't think anyone's going to notice. I don't really care. Yeah, I'm enjoying this pattern. It's very easy to follow. Like you just do the ribbing, then you cast on some stitches. It's going to be steeked. So you knit the cardigan in the round, and then it's going to be steeked after. So you add some stitches for steeking, and then you join it in the round and you start working up. And there's no shaping or anything yet. So it's super simple. Just follow the chart. This is a free pattern as well on the Sandnes Garn website. Really enjoying this one so far. But yeah, like I said, there's no deadline for this. I'm just work on it, pick it up here and there, work on it on the weekends, and yeah, just have fun with it. So that's all I have for my works in progress right now. I have another project that I'm interested in starting, hopefully when I'm finished. I would like to get my friendship pullover finished and the Florencia top finished. And then I would like to cast on for a colorwork sweater. It's also another cardigan, and it's another steeked cardigan. And that one is called Maja, Maja, I'm not really sure, Maja. And this pattern, so this pattern is designed by Helen Magnusson. I probably said that wrong, but she's an Icelandic French designer. And yeah, so she knit this one for the company Yarbo as part of a knit along in 2021. But I really liked the look of this cardigan, and all of the samples on the pattern page are so beautiful. There's so many different options for colors. I just really like a lot of them that the other knitters have used. So beautiful. So I'm excited for this. I have chosen my colors, and I'll put them up on the screen here. This is what I'm going to go for, which is by Iztec. I'm going to use Iztec Let Lopi. So I printed out the pattern, and this pattern is a free pattern, which I will link as well below. But yeah, the pattern I was looking through the pattern, and it has it's charted for the color work, and I can show you this because it's a free pattern. So this is the chart here for the body, sleeves, and the yoke. and I really like this pattern, but I find it very confusing when I'm doing my own colors to follow along with a color work chart that is in different colors. I don't know if anybody else has that problem. So I decided that I would make up my own charts using my colors. And so this is what I came up with here. So this is going to be my colorway. And I just used, I have a program on my computer which I use for cross stitch patterns, which is called PC Stitch. So you can do like, this would be like for a cross stitch chart. And it is a paid for program. But you can also use, there's one called Stitch Fiddle, and I'll link that one down below. And I used that one when I was doing my cable panel for my friendship pullover. So you can use that one as well, and that's like totally free, and that has like all the symbols for, you know, if you're doing cables. It has all those different symbols, and it's really fun to work with. So I thought that this is a lot easier for me to follow along with my own colors to do that. And yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd with stuff like this, and I really like have fun doing this part of things. I love like the planning and, you know, working up, like making a mock-up of the pattern really excites me. So that was a lot of fun. So I'm really excited about this cardigan. I'm really excited to practice steeking. I've never done it before, so now I have two projects that are going to need to be steeked. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically you knit your sweater in the round and you add a panel of stitches down the center. And then when you're finished the sweater, you're gonna sew up on both sides through those extra stitches, and then you cut it. You cut through your knitting, and then you pick up stitches and you knit your button band around. So it's kind of like a little scary because you're going to be cutting through your knitting that you work so hard on. But I don't think it's like, the more that I look into it, the more that I read about it, I don't think it's that scary. I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. I hope that they work out. But so that is it for my future casts on. So now I would like to talk to you about some of my acquisitions. So the first things that I picked up were from the dollar store, actually. And I wanted to get myself a book to, like a knitting project book where I could put in all my notes and stuff. Like I use Ravelry a lot, but I also like to have things like on paper. And I love like notebooks so much. So I picked up this cute book from the dollar store. And yeah, I've started to use it to keep track of my projects. So that's my friendship pullover, and just to keep track of all of my notes about it. And then because I'm a big nerd, this book has at the top has like all the months and then the days, so you can sort of circle, you know, the day that you're writing this on. And I want to use it for keeping track of when I started and finished the project. So I have it color coded. So I'm going to use like yellow highlighter on the month and date that I started, and then I'll use a different color for the day that I finish. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. Then I've got some, I haven't completely taped this one in yet, but that's my Florencia that I'm going to be working, or that I am working on. Yeah, so that one's fun. And then I wanted another book for what do you call it, for my plans, like future plans. So if I'm like watching a podcast and somebody mentions a sweater to knit, then that I want to knit, then I'll write that down. Or if there's like different yarns that I'm really interested in trying, I write them down in there as well. So this is my Maja cardigan. I've started some like notes about what colors I want to use. and like who it's by and, you know, all of that stuff. So I thought this book was really pretty from the dollar store. It is a Monet and it's got gold writing on it. I thought it was really cute and it goes with my other notebook as well. So that is very exciting for me. As well, I've picked up a bunch of, I've ordered a bunch of knitting books recently, and I've been on a real sock kick. So I picked up, first of all, The Sock Project. And this one is by Summer Lee. And she has such bright and cheerful sock patterns. I thought were so cute. So I'm sort of going through it from the beginning, and I'm working right now on the basic. I don't want to show you any of this stuff inside, but her basic socks. I guess they're called basic sock number 1, the heel flap and gusset. So I'm going through trying all of these out. So the first ones I'm working on right now are for my husband. I don't have them here to show you, but it's a very basic sock anyway. And I'm finished the first one and starting on the second one right now. So yeah, I really recommend this book. There's some really, really adorable patterns in here. And I think like if you were to buy them on Ravelry separately, you know, you probably buy 3 different patterns and then you basically bought the book. So you might as well go for the book if you're thinking to buy a lot of sock patterns. Another one is the 52 weeks of socks. And I haven't knit anything from here yet. I just got it last week. But I'm having fun flipping through it and checking out some of these beautiful patterns. So I hope this year to knit a lot more socks. So I've got a lot of patterns to go through. And then my last one is the Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible. And they're just like, it just has all these different stitch patterns for cables and lace and all different things. And I thought like I had so much fun doing the panel for my friendship sweater. So I thought I wanted to pick this up and maybe get into doing some more of my own cable designs on sweaters as well as maybe on some socks that I'm making. There's some really beautiful like edgings. So inspiring. So that's my third book that I picked up. That is it for books. I also picked up some yarn. This is Lion Brand Wool Ease. And I just really like the color of this one, which is sort of like a dusty grape color. It's called Raindrops, which I'm not really sure why they named it Raindrops because it's purple, but that's the name of it. So I picked up six balls of it. And I don't really know what I want to make with it yet, but I just really love this color. I think I might make another, like I just really want this in a basic sort of sweater. Maybe make another terrazzo sweater by Petite Knit. Out of that, I think that would look really nice. And that's it for yarn. I also picked up some fabric because I'm going to be doing some sewing projects. So I'll put up the picture of the pattern that I've got cut out now. I'll put it up here. And I really, really love this dress. I've had this pattern for a few months now, and I've just been waiting until like the warmer weather comes around so that I can get started on this. But I love this pattern so much. And so I picked up this fabric. I think I'm going to do it with the stripes going down like that. I just picked up this. It's blue. It's like a navy blue and white. And it's by Blackbird Fibers. No, Blackbird Fabrics. And it's a striped hemp and organic cotton chambray. So it's 55% hemp, 45% organic cotton. And Yeah, I'm super excited to get started on this. Hopefully this weekend I'll get started, and then by my next video I can share my finished dress with you, hopefully. And I did order a pattern for some pants and another dress pattern and some more fabrics, another fabric for another dress and another fabric for some new pants. So I'll hopefully be able to share those. They haven't arrived yet, but maybe by my next video, I'll have either just the fabric or I'll have some more finished sewing projects to share with you. So I'm super excited about that. And I ordered this from Blackbird Fabrics, which is in Vancouver. And this arrived in like, I don't know, 2 days maybe, or yeah, 2 days. So that was amazing. And I have one more thing to share with you, which is these cute little tags. I'll take them out of the bag. I bought these tags so that I can sew them into my sweaters, into the back, so I know which is the front and the back. But I thought they were super cute. That's like a little hedgehog. It says handmade. And I thought these would be, I don't know, like super cute. And this one is another one, just a floral one that says handmade. Super cute. I'm really excited about the sewing projects. I've gotten a lot of inspiration from another YouTube channel. She is called, I think her channel is called Just Lauren Johnson. But anyway, her name is Lauren, and she has a sewing channel on YouTube where she does, she shows you like her sewing projects, but she also does a lot of tutorials as well, where she'll like walk you through an entire dress pattern. And I think I saw on her Instagram that she has just come out with her, I think it's her first sewing pattern for a skirt that's really beautiful. So you should check it out. I'll link her down below, but I just find her videos so inspiring, and she uses really beautiful fabrics. She uses a lot of Rifle Paper Company fabrics in her dresses. And she also does like a lot of vintage inspired outfits as well. I really recommend that if you're into sewing, that you go and check out her channel. It's super inspiring. Another thing that I'm going to be doing this month is I'm going to Knit City Toronto, which is like a knitting fiber festival type of thing here that's going on it's May 18th, 19th. I'm not sure the actual dates. But anyway, I'll put it up on the screen. And this will be my first like knitting festival type of thing. I've never been to one before, so I'm really excited for this. I actually am going by myself because I don't have any knitting friends at this time. My best friend lives in Toronto, so I'm hopefully going to meet up with her for a coffee or something after. But yeah, I'm actually just going to go to the Knit City by myself, but I kind of like that because I do like to like shop on my own a lot. So I'm fine with that. But I'm really excited about that, and I think some things that I'm on the lookout for is I would like to get some more yarn for some of my sock projects. So hopefully some really cool like variegated yarns or sock sets where they have like the two different yarns that go together. I'm hoping to pick up some of those. I also would maybe like to get a project bag because I don't have, I just sort of put everything in a big basket beside my chair. And I have a couple little knitting bags, but not a lot. So maybe get yeah, a new project bag. So looking forward to that. So next I wanted to share with you my finished object that is not knitting related. So if you're here only for the knitting, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again hopefully in maybe a couple of weeks with another roundup video, but I'm not sure yet. I don't really have an idea at this moment of something that I want to do, so we'll see. It might be in another month with my finished sewing project, and hopefully I should have my friendship pullover finished, as well as hopefully my Florencia, because I would really like to have that one finished for Knit City. But I only have like 2 weeks left until that. So that might not happen. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. And if you are interested in seeing one of my other finished objects, please stick around. So this is my finished dollhouse that I've been working on for about a year now. And I've actually built 4 of these ones. This is my 4th one. But I've sold the other 3. So I just wanted to build one for myself. So that's why it's kind of taking me a bit longer, because I don't have any deadline or anything. But normally for the other ones, it takes about 3 weeks to put it together, because you get all the pieces and they're all just, just wood. You have to paint them all, stain them all of these little shingles that you attach to the house are all you have to stain them all, and I stained these all each one by hand, so that takes a while. And then when you've got to like paint it and sand it and then paint it again, and then you assemble them in a certain way, and then you have to let it dry. And so that's what a lot of the time that it takes, is just waiting for pieces to dry and stuff. But yeah, I really love building these doll houses, and I think I like the building the house even more than I like the decorating of the house. I find that part of it is a bit overwhelming to me. So I don't have anything on the inside. It's all just plain right now. So there's nothing to show you on the inside. And I don't really know if I actually will decorate the inside. I've seen a lot of beautiful accounts of people on Instagram that do doll houses, and or they decorate doll houses, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I'll link some of them below if you're interested in that. But they're so inspiring, but a little overwhelming in my opinion, because like, if you know anything about dollhouse miniatures, they are not cheap at all. And for a piece of furniture that you would put in a dollhouse, for some of them can be as expensive as a real life-size piece of furniture. So it costs money to decorate a dollhouse. And I mean, you can do a lot of it yourself, but it can be a lot of work, and like I said already, pretty overwhelming. But anyway, I think I really enjoy putting together the actual dollhouse from the kit. It's a lot of fun. So if you're interested in building this one, this is, like I said, by Real Good Toys, and it's a really awesome kit. I also have purchased a green leaf dollhouse kit, which is a little bit different than this one. And that one is like tab and slot construction, whereas this one is there aren't any tabs that fit together. You just you're gluing them and letting them dry and stuff, but it's very solid. That's what I really like about this dollhouse kit, is like all of the pieces are very solid. It's a really nice kit. All the pieces are smooth. There's not a lot of sanding to do with it, which is really great. So if you're interested in making your own dollhouse, I totally recommend this kit from Real Good Toys. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I wanted to show you with my last non-knitting related project. So I'm really happy to have this one done. Another really cool thing that happened this month was my son actually came up to me and asked me to teach him how to knit. And I've always joked with him about my knitting, because he loves his favorite things are like Pokemon, and he loves video games. He's not really into crafts or art or anything like that. So we always joke about me and my knitting and how obsessed I am with knitting. And I'm like, one day I'll get you knitting. And I joke around with him. And our main joke is, if I'm sitting, I'm knitting. And so he thinks that's funny. And anyway, so this month he asked me to teach him how to knit. I was like, yes, for sure. So I ended up getting, I had some Lion brand like bulky wool in my stash. And then I found like just a free pattern for a cowl online, and I cast that on for him. And I did the, because you do some ribbing at the bottom and then you'll do ribbing at the top. So I just did a few of the rows of ribbing for him and then got him started with just the knitting and taught him how to knit. And he was like really, really into it. He's kind of put it down for a little bit now, but he keeps saying, I'm going to pick it up again. I'm going to knit again. And I'm just like, no pressure. You like, if you want to, then do it. It's, you know, just for fun. Yeah, so he picked it up super fast, which I was surprised because he's not the most coordinated. Like, it took a very long time for him to learn to tie his shoes. And he's still not the greatest with that dexterity. So I thought, you know, maybe it would be a little bit tricky for him, but he like picked it up really fast. He was like going really good with it. And I'm going to put a video up of him after and just show you how well he was doing with it. He did make some mistakes, but I'm like, I was able to show him how to fix some of those mistakes. And yeah, he was really interested in learning about like how to correct things. And yeah, next step will be to teach him how to purl, but I'm waiting a little bit for that. We'll see if he keeps this up for a little while. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode today and got some inspiration from some of my projects. And if you did, I would love it if you could like the video and possibly subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps my channel out. It helps YouTube to know who's watching this channel and who else to share it with. So that would be, I would really appreciate that if you wanted to, if you click that subscribe button. So thanks again, and I will see you soon. Bye.